right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'm one of the yoga instructors here for Yoga for Caregivers. So, this is our weekly stretch session where we focus on getting into our body, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries. Notice, where are you ready to extend into postures? Where do you need to modify and come down to the mat? Or perhaps just find a center posture. Also, keep in mind, I don't often cue water. So, if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off the mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight out in front of you. We're going to wiggle back and forth and root into our sits bones and then sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale, draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale, drop them back and down. One more time. Inhale, shoulders forward and up, and then exhale, drop them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you, or simply find an unmoving point and soften your gaze. If you were to associate a color with clarity, what color would it be? You might think me mad, but I think the color ink, a specific shade of black, is a perfect representation for clarity. When we're in the midst of seeking clarity, we're usually in the dark in some fashion. We're missing information we feel we need to make the right choice. We're plunging the depths of our soul to understand what it is we truly want. And sometimes we're literally kept awake at night in the darkness, pondering our predicament and worrying about the final outcome. All of this is the opposite of clarity, true. But ink, the color and the writing object, has been used for thousands of years to create clarity. Where once we might have misinterpreted the thoughts of another, with a simple letter, we now understand what they're thinking and feeling. The advent of the Gutenberg Bible brought about widespread printing of words, offering people clarity of a new kind, literacy. In seeking clarity for ourselves, we can learn from others through all forms of writings. We can also spend time writing down our thoughts, organizing them, and creating a visual representation of what's at stake. Thus, ink seems like a perfect representation of clarity, as it's the color we must wade through and harness in order to find the answers we seek. With clarity as the theme for this practice, I invite you to notice if there's an aspect of your life that seems shrouded in ink. As you move through the practice, notice if answers to your quandary begin to rise, allowing that color to fade from your life. Settling in, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air. Then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale. As you feel the belly expanding outward, feeling completely full of air. And then exhale as you draw that belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel the torso expand, the collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhaling air in your nose, down your throat, filling the lungs. And then exhale as you feel all of that air move out of the lungs, up the throat, and out your nose. Continue breathing, inhaling and exhaling with intention, really noticing the movements of your breath here. Now, with each breath, see if you can welcome in a sense of clarity. Each breath is calming you down, helping you ground into the present moment. And each exhale is letting you or allowing you to let go of what you don't need and any confusion that may be present. You're not in the past. The future has not yet arrived. You are right here in this present moment. Now, if your mind wanders off from your breath, it's okay. The moment you've noticed you've wandered off, celebrate that noticing and then come back to the breath, come back to the inhales and exhales. If it's helpful, perhaps incorporating a mantra here to help you stay grounded and focus on your breath. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale, clarity. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale, clarity. Remaining here in whatever way best serves you for just another few moments today. Take another deep inhale as you set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale that breath out, set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. Now, if you're sitting on a prop, that's okay. We're going to hang out here for a few moments. If you're not sitting on a prop, I invite you to give it a go, maybe taking a block and placing it on the low side, kind of hamburger style, so you can sit right down on it. Option, of course, though, not a requirement. So sitting up nice and tall here, we'll inhale, draw the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. Good. We're going to turn our nose over to the left and then take our right arm and extend it out to the left or out to the right, fingertips reaching down to the floor. So we feel that nice stretch here through the side neck into the arm and down into the fingertips. Let's take a nice deep inhale as we root into the sits bones. And then exhale, drop the nose down toward the armpit here, feeling that nice lengthening through the side back here into that arm and shoulder a little bit deeper. Great. Inhale, return the head to neutral. Sweep that right arm across the body. Bring the left arm, forearms to touch, create a cross here, and then use the left arm to pull that right arm across the body. So we're not rotating over to the left, but we're staying nice and tall and simply using that arm to pull the arm across. Palm is up and open, shoulders are shrugged down. We're rooted through our sits bones, long through our spine, chin is slightly tucked. Couple breaths here. Great. And then inhale, release those arms, sweep that right arm out, and then bring it up overhead. Exhale, bend that elbow, bring the hand to the small of the back. So maybe you remain right here, or perhaps reach up and grab that elbow with that left hand, and then draw the right elbow toward the midline. It's tempting to hollow out the back here. So see if you can root into the sits bones, core gently engaged. Feel that nice pull now through the tricep, down into the shoulder, into the armpit, maybe into that shoulder blade space as well. Couple nice deep breaths here. Great work. Inhale, release both arms here. Bring those hands back down to your knees. We'll inhale the shoulders back and up, and then exhale them forward and down. One more time. Inhale, shoulders back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Great work here. Let's do that opposite side. So on the next exhale, nose turns over to the right. And then sweep your left arm out to the side and then dip those fingers down toward the floor here. So the arm is at a bit of an angle. We're feeling that stretch through the neck, shoulder, down to the bicep, tricep, maybe all the way down to the fingertips. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, drop the nose down toward the armpit here, deepening that stretch through the side neck, down into that shoulder, down into the fingertips. Couple deep breaths here. Great. Inhale, go ahead and return your head back to neutral. Sweep that left arm in front of your body. Bring that right arm in front. Bring those forearms to touch and then pull with that right arm using that leverage here to bring that left arm across the body and get that nice stretch to the outside of that left arm. Stayed rooted through the sits bones, long through the spine, shoulders shrugged down. Couple deep breaths here. Great work. Release those arms. Sweep that left arm out and then inhale, bring it up overhead. Exhale, bend at the elbow. Hand comes to the small of the back there. You can stay here if this is enough of a stretch, or inhale, right arm sweeps up tall. Grab that left elbow, gently pull it toward the midline for a deeper stretch. Shoulders are shrugged down. We're long through the spine. Engage through the sits bones. We're not arching out the back here. Core is engaged as well. It's gentle. You're not flexing as hard as you can. And then feeling that stretch through the tricep down to the armpit, maybe even into the shoulder blade. Couple deep breaths here. Great. Inhale, gently release. Go ahead and bring both hands back down onto the lap or the knees. Inhale, draw those shoulders forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. One more time. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Really nice work here. We're going to go ahead and come onto our hands and knees. So moving your props out of the way, hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, tops of the feet come onto the floor. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the head and the hips coming into cow. And then exhale, lift the back, sink the head and the hips coming into cat. Inhale into cow, sink your belly, look up toward the sky. And then exhale into cat, press the mat away, feel the shoulder blades separate. Inhale into cow, shoulders squeeze together, moving hips toward the shoulders. And then exhale into cat, feeling those shoulder blades separate. Good. And then inhale, let's return to neutral. On the next inhale, tuck the toes. And then on the exhale, lift your hips into a down dog. Now, this may be the first down dog of your day or your week. So let's walk that dog, bending one knee and then the other. Taking a nice deep inhale here. A nice deep exhale. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, come into stillness. So ground into the hands and the feet, shoulders shrug down, pressing the chest toward the thighs here, feeling the heels reach toward the floor. They don't have to touch, just gives you a sense of where you're headed. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale that breath out. Inhale, look up between the hands. Let's baby step those feet to the top of the mat. Come right into a halfway lift. So your knees are slightly bent, your torso is parallel with the floor. Back is flat, shoulders are shrugged down, hands on thighs or shins, gaze is toward the floor here. Let's take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, sink into your forward fold, tuck the chin, look between the legs. Now your arms can hang limp, you can palm the mat, or you can bring pinkies to opposite crooks of the elbows. If you'd like to continue to work into your heart space and your shoulders, we're going to inhale, sweep those arms up and around behind us, interlace the fingers. Maybe they just rest right on the sacrum there. Great option. Or on the next inhale, lift those arms up off the back as far as they're able to go here. Really opening up the shoulders, opening up the heart center, and at the same time, deepening that stretch through the back of the legs here. This is a full body stretch. We're getting that lengthening through the spine as the crown reaches toward the floor and that pull through the hamstrings. Very slight bend in the knees here, breathing deeply. Leaning forward under the front, 2/3 of the feet. So you're light in the heels. Oh my gosh, feeling the stretch. It is so good. Another deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale, go ahead. Release your hands down to the mat. Go ahead and bend those knees here. And then step your left foot back nice and long. Drop those hips down to the floor here, keeping your weight on top of that right ankle and pressing that left heel out behind you here. So we're in this low lunge. Now, if it's helpful, you can always use your blocks underneath your hands here. Option, not requirement. Just notice what works for your body. We're sinking the hips down, getting a nice opening through that right hip flexor, doing a little bit of work on this right leg here. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. Continue to press the eye of the left knee toward the ceiling here. So we're really trying to open up that leg. Good. And then inhale, turn that back heel down. Go ahead and sink those hips down as you turn your right hip, toes toward the side of the mat, coming into speed skater stretch. So I've set my block off to the side, but if you want extra support, it can come underneath your hips here. Great option. Now, notice where you are. We're sinking down. We're feeling that deep stretch to the inside of that left leg. We're noticing our balance here too as we're sitting down. Hands can be at heart center. They can also be down on the mat for some extra support here. Notice where you're at. There's not a wrong or a right answer. It's more so of, hey, what feels good in my body today? Great. And then inhale, hands do come down to the mat. Go ahead and rotate yourself back to the top of the mat here. Heel toe your foot over to the left side of the mat. Drop your knee to the inside of that right wrist. Lower the back leg down. So, welcome into pigeon. We want to make sure that our weight is on top of this left hip as if we're trying to get the left hip flexor and heel on that right foot to kiss one another. So, we don't want to roll onto our right hip. Couple options. You can remain here on the hands, use a block or another prop to come down under the forearms, or drop down under the forearms on the mat. Final option is to bend that back knee, pulling the heel into the glute. So now, excuse me, we're getting a nice deep stretch to the ins or the through the top of the quad here. Woo, we're feeling it. Creating that dynamic tension as well in the pelvis. We're getting a lot of movement in that space. So notice what you're feeling here today, taking it to the expression that feels good for you. And then a couple deep breaths. Good. Inhale, back leg drops down, tuck the toes, press on up onto your hands if you're not already there. Go ahead, lift that back leg, and then step back into your down dog. Great. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. On the next inhale, look up between the hands here. Go ahead and step that left foot forward and then drop the hips down, but keep that right leg lifted. So now we're in that low lunge on the opposite side here. So we're spiking the heel toward the back of the room. Eye of the knee is lifted. That front knee is in line with the ankle. Again, using props for support as you need. We're really opening up the front side of that right leg now. Couple deep breaths here. Good. And then inhale, turn that back heel down, walk your left toes so they're facing the side of the mat, and then sink down toward the floor, coming into speed skater stretch, opposite side. So as you sink down, whoop, not falling over, we're feeling that nice deep stretch to the inside of that leg here, sitting up nice and tall. But again, we can have our hands on the mat for extra support or a block beneath the hips here as well. Taking just a couple deep breaths. Great. Inhale, hands down to the mat, leaning forward here, toes down. Go ahead and walk yourself back to the top of the mat. Heel toe your foot to the inside of the right ankle. Lower the knee down to the inside of the left wrist, right wrist and left wrist here. And then drop that back knee down here, coming into pigeon. So again, our weight is shifting on top of this right hip. We want that hip and heel to be moving toward one another. You can stay down on the hands here, great option. You can use a prop like a block or come straight down onto the forearm on the mat. Last option here, again, if you'd like, you bend that back knee, draw that heel in toward the glute. Oh, feels so good here. It's an intense stretch. It's an option. It's not a requirement. Find that expression that feels right for your body today. And let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Good. Inhale, drop that back leg down. Go ahead, inhale back up onto the hands here. Tuck the back toes, lift that back leg, step back into your down dog. We take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, we drop the knees, untuck the toes, sink into a quick child's pose, elongate the arms, forehead comes down to the floor. Great. And then inhale, we come on up into center. Let's go ahead and actually just make our way straight down onto our back. We won't sit up for the rest of practice as we're getting ready for final relaxation. So grab a drink, put on your jacket, towel off if you need to. Now is a great moment to do so. So coming on down onto your back, tuck the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around, give yourself a little squeeze, maybe a little roly-poly action if that feels good. Of course, it's always an option, never a requirement. And then coming into stillness, drop the soles of the feet down to the floor, and let's prepare for final relaxation. So you can stay right in this position if that feels good. It's especially good if you have any back trouble. Allow the knees to fall open wide, soles together, recline down angle. You can extend one leg and keep the opposite leg in for fallen tree. You can extend both legs for traditional final relaxation. You're also welcome to lay on your side or on your belly, or you can just return to a seated position and treat this final part of practice like a meditation. Totally up to you. Whatever position you find yourself in, I invite you to get settled here and then tune into the breath. Begin to notice how fast or slow it's moving, how deep or shallow. Noticing the quality of each breath on the inhales, the quality of each breath on the exhales. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of the belly, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And remaining here, attention on the breath, noticing that sense of clarity that comes from being right here in the present moment. If your mind gets distracted, if it wanders off, it's okay. It happens. The moment you've noticed, celebrate the noticing and then come back to your breath. Come back to the inhales and exhales. Now, if it makes sense for you, perhaps reincorporating the mantra we use at the beginning of our practice. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale, clarity. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale, clarity. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know I'm watching the time and I definitely respect yours. So I'll be sure to let you out of this posture before the end of our practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here. Getting in touch with the earth is what will heal our suffering, our depression, our sickness. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale the breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, roll onto one side, pause there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale here as you make your way on up into a seated position and we close out our practice today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. We inhale, the shoulders draw forward and up, and then exhale, they drop back and down. Find a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on your legs, palms up or down, or in your lap. You can also bring them to heart center if you'd like, and close your eyes. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth, and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for this weekly stretch session with Yoga for Caregivers. Again, my name is Alexis Miller. I'm here every Wednesday at 9 a.m., so mark your calendars and set your alarms. Make sure to tell your friends about Yoga for Caregivers. Follow and share us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. That's where you can keep up with everything we're doing, as well as all the practices offered by volunteers like me. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Bye.